Hi, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Farmer Son. I'm Father Matt, and this is Son.
Hi.
Right, before we do the AEW's Explosive Elite review today, we'll just do a bit of tidying up with WWE. A couple of things. First of all, WWE has started to bring back some sort of a crowd. It's like NXT talents and superstars and that sort of thing. So they're now around the ring, giving that sort of atmosphere. But like AEW, it's funny how AEW has just done Double or Nothing, which I thought was a really good pay-per-view, and that crowd really give to that pay-per-view, and then WWE do it the next day or 2 days later. I think that's quite funny. Another thing is that Apollo Crews now is the new United States champion. I think going forward, I'm gonna, because I don't watch WWE because I just got so sort of bored of that sort of no crowds, no atmosphere. But now they brought back the crowds, I think we'll go to Backlash. I think I'll watch Backlash, and then we might watch some sort of Raw and SmackDown, so I might start to bring back the sort of reviews of them two shows going forward after Backlash. We'll have to see. But anyway, this is the AEW's Explosive Elite review for the 27th of the 5th, 2020. Yep, started off with the Inner Circle. Basically, they were backstage talking about their prep rally that they're going to be doing later on in the show, and that they had these shirts which were misprinted because they were printed before the match saying that they were going to be the winners. Obviously not. They got loads of shirts, that was kind of thing, so it's quite funny. Went to the first match. It was Matt Hardy and the Young Bucks versus Joey Janela and Private Party. They did do a little backstage little thing with the Bucks and Matt Hardy, where they said we don't really want the broken Matt Hardy, we want a different version, and they got like a pre-extreme Matt Hardy. So basically not much to this match. There was a little spot at the end where I think Mark Quinn got injured because they did their double flips over the ropes to the Bucks at the right side. He then sort of twisted his knee. He was sort of holding his knee. That ended up being that Matt Hardy went and got the win. The Young Bucks, they got all the win. To the match, Matt Hardy went out to see if Quinn was alright. They helped him to the back, only for the Butcher and the Blade to slide into the ring and attack the Young Bucks, because during the match they'd had a bit of an altercation because they were at ringside, only for this like 4x4 sort of truck thing to pull up with two men in it. Who were the men?
The Revival. The
Revival, or as they are now called, FTR. Cash Wheeler and Dash Harwood. FTR, formerly the Revival, they were going to be called the Revolt, I think, but there's some sort of legal situation with that name because it's already taken, so they're still going with that FTR. So they've made a debut finally in AEW. This has been teased for a little while. Obviously they did get released a little while ago, and they're now appeared on the show. So going forward, didn't attack the Young Bucks, which was quite interesting because they were sort of in being the Elite, there's been FTR, been saturated through that, and they've always been saying they want the match with the Young Bucks and all this and the other, but they didn't actually. They actually did a save. They didn't actually attack them, so that's quite cool to see that. Obviously, these little debuts would have been better with crowds, but they are what they are. Next, we had John Moxley come in to do a bit of commentary. He said he was going to be seeing Brian Cage up close and personal. So, as we know, at Fighter Fest, which is in a few weeks' time, it will be Brian Cage versus Moxley, because Brian Cage won that Casino Battle Royal at Double or Nothing.
It was a ladder match.
Oh, yes, that's right. That is right. Yep. It was a casino ladder match for the chance to face Moxley. That's right. Cage came in, debuted, won it. He then came out in this match. Basically, it was a jobber, Lee Johnson. He came out with Taz, made quick work. Taz got onto the mic, did a promo. The promo wasn't great. You could tell that Taz hasn't really done these promos out in sort of this sort of situation for a while. He does do commentary, but yeah, he was kind of stumbling and fumbling over his words a little bit. Next, we had Britt Baker came out in a wheelchair. They're still continuing this Rules of a Role Model number 3. The rule was, can you remember what the rule was? It was don't hurt the role model. And then she went into this long sort of promo about how it's a conspiracy and that Aubrey Edwards was always there during when she got hurt, and the best bit was when they wheeled her out and it said role model, but instead of saying R-O-L-E it said R-O-L-L, and I thought it was quite cool. I think this is the best thing for Britt Baker to do with these promos, keep her promo skill, working on that, because I do think she suffers. This was a really good promo though, I will say that. She did announce when she'll be back. Can you remember when she'll be back?
All out.
Yep, all out in September. So it's only a fractured tibia, I think is what she said. So only about 3 or 4 months and she'll be back. So that's quite good news. Inner Circle did an interview. Kind of an interview, wasn't really, it was kind of them sort of berating the interviewer, only for Orange Cassidy to walk through the shot. Jericho said, did you see that? We'll catch up with him later. Next we had Christy Janes versus Shida. Shida got the win. Then we had Cody come out and did an interview where he said that he is now going to be a fighting champion and that it's basically an open challenge for the belt. He's going to defend the belt every week, and I thought this was a really good promo. Cody Rhodes is a really good promo. This again is another solid one. Next we had Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian versus FCU. The winner of this match would get a #1 contender title match against Hangman and Page, who are back now. They were seen backstage drinking and being sort of a cohesive tag team again. They'll face the winner of this match next week, and then Fyter Fest, it will be the best friends. They'll get their opportunity. It was a Penelope Ford distraction again that ended up getting Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc the win. So they go on to face Omega and Hangman Page next week. Then MJF did a bit of a backstage interview with Wardlow where he said he's going to be in the Battle Royal and that he's going to face Cody, and that Wardlow's going to be in his insurance. So a little bit of dissension there starting to creep in with Wardlow and him by the looks of it. But, you know, we'll have to see how that fleshes out. We had the Battle Royal. I will say that Orange Cassidy came out but got taken out by Santana and Ortiz at the very beginning. So it's sort of a throwback to that little Jericho interview. Only for who to get the win?
Jungle Boy.
Yep, Jungle Boy ended up getting the win of this because Orange Cassidy rolled back into the ring. Him and Jungle Boy sort of ended up sort of double teaming in a way, MJF and Wardlow, and then Jungle Boy just got the upper hand over Orange Cassidy. And then we got to the prep rally, which was quite entertaining and funny. They had the sort of cheerleaders there. Vicky Guerrero come out as a cheerleader. Obviously, we know Vicky Guerrero's character is incredibly loud, which I thought was really good. Vicky Guerrero did the inductions. Hager, Santana, Ortiz is still selling that he got rung with the bell. He's still ringing. His ears are still ringing, so he's still sort of playing on that. That's what we'll say about Ortiz. He's very good at this comedic sort of style of sort of personality. I thought he was really good. Obviously, then Jericho and Sammy Guevara, they all come out to the ring. They sort of had Sammy Guevara give out trophies. Santana give out sort of like meat sandwich and all this sort of stuff, and they were kind of throwing t-shirts into the crowd and that, only for then Sammy to say, what do you want, Jericho? After all this, what do you want? Jericho then said he wanted who?
Mike Tyson.
Yep, Mike Tyson. Because in 2010, obviously on WWE program, they couldn't say that, but it is on WWE program. They obviously had a bit of altercation. Jericho says he hasn't forgotten about that. He called out Tyson. Tyson comes out. Jericho demands an apology. Ends up that Tyson pushes Jericho. They get into a bit of a sort of scrappy sort of pull apart brawl. Everyone comes out of the locker room, pulls them apart, and that was kind of the end thing. So it's a bit of a throwback to throwback to 1998 with Mike Tyson, Vince McMahon and Stone Cold. It was very reminiscent of that, especially with that shove. I thought that was very much like Austin and Tyson. You can see what they're doing. They are throwing back. A lot of fans are going to say, oh, well, they're just going back to what they used to do and it's a throwback and we've seen this all before. I can understand that, but you can see what they're doing. They've got Mike Tyson. They're going to use him for this type of thing. They're going to throw back to his wrestling history, and I think that's what they've done here. I thought this show was very consistent. Again, I use that word a lot with AEW. I think they are very consistent. Again, they've they followed up on a few points from Double or Nothing. I thought were really good, and they've definitely sort of pushed the envelope forward a little bit more to Fyter Fest, which I'm looking forward to that again. Because they're already setting it up now. So like I say, yeah, I thought it was a very good show, especially with now formerly the Revival, now the debuting. I know people are going to be a bit disappointed by that, by saying, well, it's another WWE talent now coming in to take the spot, which is fair enough, but the Revival are a really good tag team, so we will see what happens with them going forward. So what do you think of this week's Dynamite?
I think it was good.
You thought it was good? Yep, I did as well. So if you liked it, then please give us a like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video, which will probably be next week's AEW. So I'll say goodbye, and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.